Nueva Renault Duster presenta.
La vida es como la carrera de un actor. Y en las series hay que tener la fuerza para enfrentar todo tipo de aventuras. Pueden ser vikingos, legionarios romanos, dimensiones paralelas. Nunca sabes qué se le puede ocurrir a los guionistas. Sí, las series son emocionantes, pero no hay nada como la vida real.
Nueva Renault Duster para la nueva temporada de tu vida.
You know, we knew going into making Endgame that there was going to have to be some loss. I was heartbroken about it in some ways. I mean, it was tough to shoot that scene with Renner. You know, we both felt really, really sad.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. Before I was an Avenger. Before I got this family. I made mistakes choosing between what the world wants you to be and who you are.
Scarlett, I want to start with you. What a ride you've given us with this character. You know, she has taught us so many things about sorority, redemption, and now in this film, I mean, what's the greatest lesson you've gotten from Natasha as an actress and as a person as well?
I there's things about the character that I admire very much. You know, she's surprisingly humble, I think. She's not afraid to admit when she's wrong about something. And this film is very much about forgiveness and self-forgiveness, and the process of getting to that place, a place of self-forgiveness. And, you know, I admire that quality very much about her. I think that's what allows her to grow, is that she's actually able to forgive herself deeply for things that she may not have had an active choice in deciding, but feels like guilt for. You know, the film is complicated because it shows where, you know, how this guilt that she carries around, how it's sort of like this kind of systemic part of her. It's systemic trauma that she's experienced really from childhood, and it's multi-generational, and it's quite interesting though, because she eventually gets to a place where she's, through her relationship actually with Florence's character Yelena, is actually able to understand what happened to her.
We have to go back to where it all started.
Where did you think I was all this time?
We have unfinished business.
My girls are the toughest girls in the world.
I'm sorry. We had our orders and we played our roles.
It wasn't real.
It was real to me.
Florence, I mean, Natasha has had her fair share of becoming a superhero and the B side of it, but what do you think is what Yelena is going to struggle with on entering in this world?
What do I think she's going to struggle with?
Becoming a superhero might not be that easy.
Oh, I don't know. I think probably the thing that she'll struggle with is figuring out a pose. That's one thing that she'll struggle with. I don't know. I think she's quite eager to live, and I think she's quite eager to actually feel things that are her own feelings for, you know, this next chapter. So I don't know what she'll struggle with. I think she's someone that will just throw herself at everything and boldly enter. But I haven't quite thought about that yet. I think she's more eager than anxious, I suppose.
I mean, I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen to her.
To me, you were everything.
Bring her home.
Scarlett, after watching Endgame and now watching Black Widow, you just made me sadder on what happened in Endgame. So you knew this side of Natasha. I want to know, what was your reaction when you knew what was going to happen to her? Because this is the first time I get to talk to you about this.
You know, we knew going into making Endgame that there was going to have to be some loss, and I think I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised that it was that Natasha would be the character that makes that ultimate sacrifice. It made sense to me as far from a character standpoint. But you know, it was bittersweet. I think I also knew that this film would be sort of in the works, and so I think I was more concerned with how all the pieces were going to fit together, you know, so that the means could justify the end, and working backwards like that had its own challenges. So I was definitely just distracted in some way by the thought of how this film was going to, what it could be or what it should be. That maybe if I didn't have that sort of that distraction, I would have maybe been more devastated. But I was heartbroken about it in some ways. I mean, it was tough to shoot that scene with Renner. You know, we both felt really, really sad, you know. And it's also just the culmination of 10 years of work with a good friend, and many friends, obviously, on the set that, you know, grown to become like family to me. You know, it's bittersweet.
Put your seatbelts on. She's such a mom.
One thing's for sure. I'm done running from my past.
Nueva Renault Duster presentó